Okay, Terry here, and we're back with the Snowdrop Diaries. So, yeah, now Nellie, the Snowdrop, the lovely Snowdrop, is calling Nate, her fiance, to ask for help about this monster situation. I kinda wonder though, I think it's just a prank from Sybil, but we'll see. Much to my surprise, Nate took the news about the monster arrival with amusing light mindedness. Oh, sorry, I thought I was just playing RPG Maker game, so I thought I was supposed to press Z. Are you serious about that? Of course I am. How could it be otherwise, Nate? I don't know much about monsters, but are they even capable of writing on the walls? Why not? They take on human disguise with ease. They have the access to human knowledge and skills. I'm not belittling your fear in the slightest, but please think about it. Was the writing really done in blood? I don't know. Sister Vanessa won't tell me. She has forbidden the very mention of this incident, and everyone and anyone who can keep their mouth shut will be forced to learn the primal anthem by heart. Her action seems sensible. It is pointless to scare the sisters. But we can just wash the monster message away and pretend it never happened. That beast is dangerous. That beast is a murderer. The monster had already attacked Orin and ripped his friends to pieces. We mustn't waste our time, absolutely. Nellie. Nate stepped so close to me I was unwillingly struck by the length of his dark eyelashes. Trust me, I share your worries. I am disturbed by the death of Orin's companion and by the inscription. But I don't think the monster is one to blame. Then who is? I don't know, maybe Orin himself? You think he is a monster? He could be dangerous. Did that mean Nate also suspected Orin even though he refused to recognize the merchant as the monster from the legend? I had my doubts. Orin is injured, the elder sister tend to repeat that he can hardly walk. It would be impossible for him to get the blood and leave a message. Hmm. Nate bowed his head slightly, acknowledging my point. I, for one, understood his wavering. Strange things started happening right after Orin's arrival at the monastery. What strange thing? It's only that one thing only. Was he the one who had brought the beast into the sanctuary? Had he unwittingly contributed to its infiltration? We have to do something, Nate. The two of us, together. You are taking the legend way too seriously. I don't. Oh, think about it, Nate. The constellation had disappeared, people have died, the sole survivor claims to have been attacked by a monster. Even the magical snowdrop have blossomed. Why do you hesitate? I almost cried with tears of resentment. Nate's hand gently touched my cheek. Nellie, You don't believe me. I'm sorry, Oh, perhaps he believes you, Nellie. I've got to go. I could see it in his dark eyes. There was no point in conversing further. Nate had decided in advance that the monster didn't exist. He didn't wish to become Nathaniel, the knight whom Wisefield and the rest of the world needed the most right now. I was unable to stop my tears and I ran away in shame, without attempting to reach out to the heart of my beloved. Oh, my soul was falling apart. Nate didn't believe me, Sybil was too busy and exhausted. Sister Monica, an outsider, couldn't help me. An overly strict Sister Vanessa worried so much about my safety she rather locked me inside a cell than join our efforts. My head was overflowing with painful thoughts, each one nastier than the other, and I knew that my mental turmoil would make me vulnerable to the danger. The only solace for my despondency lay in the glade full of magical snowdrops. How you're going there? Alone? My feet had brought me to the lovely spot where the last thing I could expect would be a monster attack. I had to sneak through the secret passage Sybil had discovered. Uh, you sure? I ended up alone in the snow-white forest, which repulsed me with its cold, unfriendly purity. Indeed. Then I found footprint in the snow. Only Sybil and I knew about the passage. Sister Vanessa had never been able to make us confess about how we managed to get into the woods on that ill-fated day when we met Ori. Could it be Sybil? I hurried forward. Oh, the music. The sun irrevocably crept over the horizon, throwing me into the night's embrace. The sky was still covered by the clouds. Had the constellation not disappeared, its light would surely have broken through and illuminated my path. The brisk walk quickly deprived me of all my strength. My lungs stung from the cold. I breathed heavily, releasing a large cloud of steam from my mouth. Let's go, I kept telling myself. Aha! I wanted to see a familiar face so badly to hear warm and reassuring words. Oh, I longed to get rid of my oppressive feeling of loneliness. There! Cybele. There she was, Cybele, and she's not wearing her garment? Is that what you call it? My friend was standing by the glade with magical snowdrops. Sigh. I stopped, noticing the rage creasing the girl's pretty face. She's crying. Rage? What do you mean by rage? I hate it. Ah, you. Yep, you're finally able to say things that you aren't able to say, huh? Disappear, just disappear. All of this. Let it descend into darkness. Whoa. This is not just about Nelly then. She made a sharp swing with her hand and tossed something right into the glade of snowdrops. She almost hissed, as if that object was burning her palm. I was taken aback by this scene by witnessing Sybil being overwhelmed with rage and frenzy. I retreated unconsciously, hiding behind a tree. That's good move. She dashed before my eyes while spewing the curses that were hardly acceptable in a nun's speech. She didn't notice me, nor the chain of footsteps running parallel to her own. What happened? What if Sister Vanessa said something to her? Or did something to her? I wish I could follow my friend, but though I am ashamed to admit it, I felt afraid of her. Yep. Sybil scared me. Her rage and pain was so great it seemed capable of inflicting a mortal wound on anyone who dared to approach her. I hesitated while trying to find an excuse for my cowardice. Suddenly I remembered the object Sybil had thrown into the glade. What is it? The snowdrops were glowing soothingly and my soul felt a little lighter. The dim blue light let me see what I was looking for. Oh, it's the Rosario. Sybil, why? With my fingers trembling with anxiety, I pick up a silver rosary. Dear diary, after today's event, I can get a certain unpleasant thought out of my head. I don't want to believe it, but I need to express my doubts at least on paper. Sybil, she had been walking alone in the woods on the day Orin was wounded. She had stiffened when I asked her to go to the forest again. I noticed blood on the cuff of her sleeve. Ah. And today she threw away her rosary, which seems to be burning her palm and hurting her. Sister Vanessa had told me that the monster can take on human form. What if Sybil is connected to the monster? No, diary, no. I refuse to believe it. Sybil is my best friend. She can be a horrible beast who kills people. She can. I think Nate was right. It all started with the arrival of Warren. There must be a reason why Sister Vanessa was trying to keep me and Cybele away from him. I'll try to figure out how to deal with him. I won't be able to fall asleep anyway. Snowdrop. Month of the Aquatic Dragon. Day 27? Or 28. I need to become stronger. Dear diary, strong enough to accept the cruel truth. Today, the elder sister had quarreled again. Their voices must have reached all the way to Weisfield Village. Sister Monica had her usual frivolous smile, and Sister Vanessa was anxiously clenching her graceful ivory fingers into fists. Where's Cybele? My ears pricked up at the mention of my friend, and I prayed to the saints that nothing had happened to her. If that Orin even dares to lay a finger on her, ooh, Nelly. Leave the poor girl alone already. I feel responsible for her. Please, don't start that again. You're the one who put nonsense into her head. You made her take care of an outsider. You did all the things possible in order to make her wallow in filth. Orin's sin is the fact that he is a man, right? An appalling transgression indeed. Wait, what's the problem of being a man? Oh my god. You may hate men, but not all men are scoundrels. Ah, I see now. Someone did something to you back then, Vanessa. I'm sorry to hear that. I can imagine it felt good when your fiance left you at the altar, but oh, that explains. Shut up. The blood rushing to Vanessa's cheeks made me realize how close she was to losing her pious composure again. Pious. It's not about me, it's about Vaye's daughter. Vaye. I don't want the tragedy to repeat itself. Vaye proved to be weak in spirit and fell prey to the devil. She rejected prayers, turned her back to the sisters, and closed her soul to the Lord's divine light. Sister Vanessa squeezed her eyes shut as if she wished to shut herself off from some horrible memories. She is crying again. And Cybele is a sinner like her mother, a devil like her father, a monster. Oh, see, this is how you create your own monster. What her fiance did make Vanessa a monster, and what Vanessa did make Cybele a monster. And what Cybele did probably make Nelly a monster too, but that's the cycle. Oh, Nelly. That's enough. Cybele is nothing but a young novice. They share the same blood. Cybele is a monster who had forsaken God. I'm afraid she is beyond saving. Sister Vanessa's word hit me hard. It felt like the sky had fallen down with all its stars and luminaries. I staggered down the corridor, totally stunned. I could only take a small step, reluctant despite my feet's desperate persistence. Alas, where I choose to go, the trouble wouldn't melt away like spring snow. Cybele was a monster. Sister Vanessa had confirmed my worst fears. No. Oh, Nelly, you're too naive. Why? Why wasn't it Orin? I was more than convinced it was him who had brought misfortune to Wastefield Monastery. But the monster ended up being more treacherous than I could have imagined, even in the worst of nightmares. What did it mean then? Sister Vanessa had never wanted Cybele to look after Orin, but who had she really been worried about? The novice or the merchant? Did she fear the monster would finish what it started in the woods? No matter how much Sister Vanessa hated men, she had been driven by humanity, not hatred. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's driven by hatred, but it's from her trauma wound. So, yeah. I suddenly saw Cybele standing at the end of the corridor. My friend looked deathly pale and unusually fragile. Her huge light blue eyes lacked any tint of emotion. The affection I felt for her made my heart sink. Sister Vanessa was wrong. There was no way Sybil could be a monster. I swallowed my stifling fears and in resolution walked towards the girl. I squeezed her icy palm. Is anything wrong, Sybil? Huh? Oh, you don't even realize your surroundings anymore. You don't look well. I... I'm fine. Are you sure you haven't been yourself since we found Orin in the forest? Did he do something to you? Orin? No, it's nothing like that. You're fantasizing again, Snowdrop. You shouldn't be spending time with him. You best listen to Sister Vanessa. She always says the right things. Ellie, oh. See? Vanessa. Yep. My friend abruptly put her hand out and took a couple of steps away from me. Such a know-it-all. Sister Vanessa is worried about us. She raised us as her own daughters. Perhaps she raised you as her own daughter, but not Sybil, Nelly, if you think of that. While thinking of my dead mother as a filthy traitor, see, and calling her a little devil eye. Don't think so. Sybil smiled faintly, turning her white face into a sinister mask. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Don't say that. I'm not afraid to tread the path of sin. How painful and frightening it was to hear those words. Don't do it, Sybil. You aren't a beast. Return to praying. Think of the holy elders. Please listen to what Sister Vanessa says. Sybil lifted her chin while looking down at me with a piercing, icy gaze. Sister Vanessa. Oh. Her pale lips stretched into a sneer. I wish she was dead. Oh. No, please don't. Okay. My friend had no desire to listen to my exhortation. She chose to leave instead, pretending I didn't exist. Monster? Not a monster? Who? Sybil. Sybil. Dear diary, I am scared not for myself but for Sybil. She has changed so much. It's as if somebody else has taken on my dear friend's form, like a changeling from a fairy tale. A monster. A monster. What should I... Ah, okay. Sybil has never liked Sister Vanessa, but she would never wish death on another human being. Is Sybil a monster? Monster, monster, monster. I have to save Sybil, but how? Maybe the magical snowdrop will drive the evil away. I should have known the time was short, but I didn't realize it was that short. There's so much blood. Beautiful white snowdrops. Sybil. Blood? No. Sister Vanessa, isn't it? She sat on the corridor floor with her back leaning against the stone wall. A relaxed, demure posture. Her beautiful, aristocratic face expressed no pain, no fear, only mild surprise. Scarlet flowers of blood bloomed all around her. The biggest and brightest one blossomed from her belly. Sister Monica. The winds had carried away the sense of murder. Sister Vanessa looked like she was taking a peaceful rest with her mind being fully devoted to a prayer. How did... Okay, Sybil. Sybil, stop it! Oh yeah. That's enough. Ellie. Sybil. Monica, Vanessa. I still had no idea of what should I do. The monster was right before my eyes, but how was I supposed to deal with it? It was Nathaniel the knight who should have been the one to take the beast down. But Nate was too far away to save us, even if he changed his mind and convinced himself that the monster from the legend really existed. I had to take the matters into my own hands. Oh no, Nelly. Sybil. Yep. Her cruel, evil laughter reverberated off the walls and ceiling, multiplied and intensified until it sounded like relentless monstrous. It was painful. Sister Monica backed away from the gleeful novice while looking at her in horror. She also felt the menace, the one emanating from the monster who had taken the human form. Calm down, Sybil, and go back to your monastic cell. And you too, Nellie. Thank goodness no one else has seen this. What should I do, holy elders? Report it? Go to your cells. Uh-huh. Sybil, now. Sister Monica still didn't understand anything, and Sybil only grinned. What? Really? How do I repeat that? So that was the monster plan, to pretend to be an innocent novice and kill us all one by one. I still had some time left while Sybil had been hesitating about revealing her true nature. Quickly. Not a minute to lose. I needed a weapon. Or at least something to scare the monster away. Orin managed to survive, though Sybil took care of him every single day. She had a million opportunities to get rid of him, but he had found a way to defend himself. There was a glimmer of hope. Sister Monica, we need to get the other sister. To move the body away, you should go fetch them now. Yes, you're right. I'm going to my place. I could only give a small warning to Sister Monica. After lying about my true intentions, I hurried to the cell where our injured guest had been staying all these days. I hope Orin will tell me how to protect myself from the monster, otherwise we would all be in grave danger. How do we... What is it? Ah, Orin. Yeah, he's already dead. I flew into the cell and almost lost my sense. The scarlet flowers are blooming everywhere. Oh, so that's where you get the blood for painting. No, no, no! Orin had disappeared. Only then I did notice the red beads leading to the door. Had he escaped, or had the monster gotten to him after all? No, 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 no! I shook my head and gripped my hair. Despair erupted like a flame in a fireplace, blurring my eyes with scarlet flashes. A cry of hopelessness arose to my throat. How could I... What should I do? Nate? Why hadn't he believed me? Wasn't he Nathaniel the Knight? Wasn't Sybil my best friend? Oh. I bit my lip trying to pull myself together. Nate will surely arrive. We'll defeat the monster together. We'll save Sybil. I took a deep breath and went back into the hallways. Oh. Orin is missing, Sybil. There's blood everywhere and... So that's how it is. An eerie smile distorted the face of my precious friend again. He got away after all. Oh. Well, I've got to catch him as soon as possible. No. Sybil, no, why? Why didn't she answer? Why didn't she explain her strange behavior? Why didn't she give me some hope? Nellie, perhaps you should ask yourself, where are you when she is in need? I asked myself this question, but I already know the answer. The monster was eager to get its victim to finish the job. Sigh. Girls, go back to your cell now. Sister Monica was breathing heavily. Apparently she had been running after the fleeing Sybil and had finally managed to catch up with her. What are you doing? The elder sister had noticed blood on the floor. Oh, holy elders, you two return to your cells quickly. Sybil ignored Sister Monica's command and went ahead, stepping right into the trail of blood. Stop, I said. Stop! The frightened woman grabbed Sybil by her wrist. Huh? Without uttering a single word, my former best friend pulled her hand from the nun's grip and forcefully pushed her away. Uh-huh. Okay, she falls. Sister Monica's eyes widened in surprise and she shrieked as she fell. One more second and she hit the stone floor with a short, astonished moan. Oh no, there was a horrible cracking sound. Sister Monica. The woman didn't move. Yeah, of course. You did it yourself. Okay. A panic swept me over. Sister Vanessa was dead. Sister Monica was dead. Orin was injured. Nate was far away in Westfield Village. Sybil was going to kill again. Me? Ah, Nelly, you run? Deprived of my ability to think, I ran down the bloody trail. The noise in my head had folded into a single compulsive desire to find Orin and help him escape. At least him. The man with whom it all started and whom I had only seen once in my life. The trail led me to Sybil's secret passage. How did Orin know about it? Orin likes to go to this place, isn't he? A path of scarlet droplet twisted further into the forest. I could hardly see it in the gathering dusk. When the sun finally hid itself behind the horizon, there was no need for me to see anything anymore. I had already known where Orin was going. Of course, he would have taken refuge in a glade full of magical snowdrops, the one that banished evil. My whole being stretched forward, willing to reach the sacred spot as soon as possible. And once again I had been startled by the blessed light of the magical flower. I could feel the spirit in them, majestic and immense. I ducked into a halo of blissful blue light, looking for any signs of Orin. Alas, he had either not made it to the church glade or he had fled further into the forest, seeking refuge into the nearby village. Nelly. I turned around in horror. Sybil stood a little distance away, afraid to cross the line where the darkness met the glow of the snowdrop. He's not here? He's gone? Yep, my friend's young face twisted into an unnerving grimace. What a horrible person. All you people are disgusting. I clenched my teeth, knowing that there was no room for retreat. I was supposed to fight until the end to oppose the monster. Yet here I was, clinging to the affection I had for my friend, reaching out my hand, hoping to seize the bond of our past. Why are you doing this, Sybil? Don't you feel any love for our monastery? Don't you love the sister? They raised us like their own. Did I love them? What is love, Nelly? Gratitude? Duty? If it's so, then yes, I love them, for being able to live with a roof over my head, for being able to eat well, knowing not of hunger. But if you take this so-called love away, there be nothing left, nothing but hatred. I hate Westfield Monastery, I hate its gloom, coldness, arrogance. I hate useless prayer, but more than anything, I hated Vanessa. So that's where it started, isn't it? Okay. Loving. Sybil convulsed into a fit of laughter. She staggered but did not dare step into the glade. I hate it. I hate you all. Even me? Don't you have any love left for me? You... Snowdrop, muttering something under her breath, then she abruptly lifted her chin. Come with me, Nelly. Leave the monastery behind, forget this remote place with silence and hollow prayers. Throw away your useless rosary, the attributes of fate have no power or authority. Why don't you follow me to the world outside? Sybil grinned broadly, believing I was about to be tempted by her friendly voice. But the grimace distorting her features is nowhere resembled the soft, kind, slightly mischievous smile she had before. That moment I knew for sure that my dear friend was gone. All that was left was a monster luring me into its trap. Monsters can disguise themselves as humans, Nelly. Stay away from them, do you understand? Those beasts, those devils, they tend to tempt you with their sweet words, but follow them and you'll be doomed. Beware of the beast, Nelly. Pray, pray, and you'll be saved. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. May the holy elders help me. May Saint Eleonora lend me her strength. May Nathaniel the Knight allows me to take over his mission to eradicate evil. Cybele. Let's go, Nelly. Come with me. You'll never regret leaving this place. I took a step forward towards my friend. May the sky open. Oh, that's some sound. Cybele, I love you so. I love you too, Nelly. May the flesh of the earth be illuminated with true grace. We'll always be together. Together. May the divine punishment come upon the lowly beast. May their cries rise up to the heavens. What are you going to do? Oh, I held out my open palm to Cybele. May those who have sinned repent. Cybele squeezed my hand tightly, and then I pulled her inside the glowing space. What happened then? May they die. In the name of peace on earth. Well, I didn't expect that. That's brutal. What? Okay, that's definitely doesn't look divine at all. My hands closed around her slender neck. Cybele's mouth fell open, but she couldn't say a word. Her fingers clung to my hair, then tried to gouge my eyes. You know, knowing their circumstances from the start, it doesn't have to end like this. But it did. If only Vanessa's fiance never left her, if only Vanessa never treated Cybele like this, if only Cybele didn't, well, become murderous and stuff, and if only, well, Nelly understand her friend better, then things wouldn't be like this. I pushed harder and harder and harder. May their cries rise up to the heavens. The spirit of Saint Eleonora had awoken within me. The words which came out of my mouth were not mine but hers. Her prayer illuminated the forest. May those who have sinned repent. Oh no. Cybele fought back, but the magical snowdrop sucked out all of her demonic power. No, I don't think that's the magical snowdrop. She had easily dealt with Orin's companion, who were grown men, but here, among the pale blue flowers, she was no stronger than an ordinary young girl. Yeah, I doubt that was she who dealt with Orin's companion. Nelly. I felt tears rolling down my cheeks, but all I could see was my friend's angry, ugly face. I could not see any remorse in her pale, bottomless eyes, nor any desire for mercy. There was only surprise and anger. May they die. I'm sorry, Cybele. I'm sorry I had to do this. I'm sorry I couldn't find another way to save you. In the name of peace on earth. There's, like, literally other way to save her, but okay. Cybele's body went limp. I couldn't find the courage to unclench my finger. I knew it wasn't over yet. In the past, after Saint Eleonora and Nathaniel the Knight had defeated the monster, the demon sent her servant to the sky, turning it into a constellation. As a result, the beast returned to the earth centuries later. That's why I had to fulfill my duty today without Nate's help. I didn't want his story to repeat itself. I had to do whatever it took to cleanse Cybel's body, not letting the demon turn her into another constellation. May the divine punishment come upon the lowly beast. I picked a handful of pale blue flowers, kissed their petal in blessing, then shoved them right into Cybel's mouth. Okay, may the heartfelt prayers protect us. I plucked off another armful of snowdrop, blessed them with my kisses, and put more flowers into the mouth of the dead girl. May peace last forever. Once more, forever, and more. Oh, and more. No, Nelly. Blessed we are. That's how it ended, dear diary. I'm staying in my monastic cell right now. I still can't believe I managed to fulfill my duty. I did it, diary. It was so scary and painful and hard, but I did it. Why would the Holy Elders put me through such a terrible ordeal? Why did it have to be Cybele? Because of her father demonic nature? I don't know. I don't know at all, dear diary. I can only hope the magical snowdrops will serve as both a prison and a soft, soft grave for Cybele, where her soul will find peace. I'll wait for Nate and tell him everything from beginning to end. And Nate will pat me in head in a familiar way and praise me. He will say I was brave and very strong. Nelly, about that. And I'll tell him about how diary, I, Cybele, why? Oh, okay. Month of the Earth Serpent, I don't know what day it is. Sorry, dear diary, this entry will be the last. We've been through a lot over the past 2 months. At first it was fun, then scary, and now the time has come to say goodbye. I've learned some very important things. Many days have passed since Cybele's death, but since then I have only been able to talk to 2 people. The first was Sister Monica. She survived, though she hit her head hard. Fear bagels fear, right, dear diary? Fear? Okay. When an hour had passed since I returned to my monastic cell that fateful night, there was a knock on my door. Sister Monica wanted to know if I was all right. Well, of course, Sister Monica survived. Okay, that's good. Sister Monica, you're alive. Are you hurt, girl? You should probably ask Cybele, though. The sister ran up to me and touched my shoulder. Nothing bad has been done to you? No, 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 no. If you ask the otherwise, yeah, then yeah. By the monster? No, nothing at all. Let me examine you. There's no need for it. Still, Sister Monica insisted on checking me up. It took her a while to see if I had sustained any injuries. After examining my back, she gave a quiet groan. Is anything wrong? No, it's nothing. There's so much noise outside. The whole monastery is upside down. Why have the Holy Elders sent us such a terrible ordeal? Blessed we are, huh? It's a good thing you didn't get hurt. What are you going to do with the dead body? Will you bury it according to the costumes? Of course, Sister Vanessa will be buried with honor. She cared for the welfare of the monastery and its inhabitants more than anyone. We are going to bid her a proper farewell. No, I'm asking about the monster. You mean Orion? I hope the Wastebelt will catch the scoundrel as soon as possible. What makes you think he's dead? The blood in the cell? Scoundrel? He's a merchant. No, it's not him I'm talking about. It's the actual monster. The body. Cybele. It was unbearably difficult and painful to say her name out loud. Sybil. Body? Yes, she was the monster. You know it yourself, Sister Monica. The monster hit you and almost killed you. And earlier it killed Sister Vanessa and wounded Orin. I tried to trick me It tried to trick me too, but I remember the words of Sister Vanessa. The devil failed to lure me into the trap. The devil? Yes, Sybil was born a monster because the devil had deceived and deframed her mother. Yep, that's Vanessa's word, isn't it? Sister Monica looked at me as if she couldn't understand a word. Sybil's mother? Please remember what Sister Vanessa told you about her. The woman named Valle was ruined by the devil. And she gave birth to Sybil, a monster just like her father. You are confused, Nellie. Sybill's father wasn't a real monster. He deceived Sybill's mother and ran away. A terrible thing to do, for sure, but human enough. I don't understand. Sybill's mother was a nun just like the other elder sister. She and Vanessa got on well together. But Valle was secretly meeting with a man. That scoundrel abandoned her, and a few months later the poor woman died in childbirth. Vanessa didn't take it well. She ended up hating that man with a passion and accused him of every possible sin. Orin was the man. Orin was Sybill's father. Sybil, on the other hand, became a painful reminder about the death and betrayal of her close friend who had exchanged her peaceful life in a monastery for a fleeting lust for a man. Oh. I had no idea. Sybil is not a monster but a victim of unlucky circumstances. Where is she? She is probably terrified. Well, about that. Do you accept her death? The poor girl has had a rough time of it lately. Wasn't she the one that murdered Sister Vanessa? Or she isn't. The way of the nun is not for Sybil. I talked to my cousin, to Mr. Weisfeld in person, and asked him to help her settle down somewhere in a nearby town. The further away she stayed from the village and the monastery, the better for her. Oh, that won't be necessary. No, really. Sybil was a monster and I get rid of it. You did what? I have defeated the monster just like Saint Eleonora from the legend. Sister Monica mouth open then closed. But how? With the help of a prayer and the magic of the snowdrops. Yep. Sister Monica said nothing more. She stormed out of the cell with a deadpan expression and locked the door from outside, for my own safety. Don't worry, Sister Monica, we won't be in danger anymore. Nelly. A day later, I was taken to Wisfield village. With a tremor in my chest, I awaited the gratitude of the villager I had saved, hoping it would soothe the pain of Sybill's death somehow. However, no one met me. I found myself in the place I'd least thought about. I'd, le- I'd less thought about it. Prison. Nate paid me a visit on the same day. He didn't praise me, didn't pat me on the head. Nate, what's going on? Have you found Orin? Is he alive? Oh, sorry. Nellie didn't understand anything. Yes, he was alive. What's more, he told his story. Orin Grave killed his companion himself. Huh? Yep, it's not Sybil. They had an argument, then got into a fight. Orin was badly injured, but he managed to fight back and in a fit of terror took the other merchant's life. Upon realizing what he had done, he tried to run away. He had lost a lot of blood and thought he was going to die, but suddenly two angels appeared before him. Me and Sybil. Orin woke up inside a monastic cell. He was weak, so Sister Monica assigned Sybil to take care of him. They got to talking. The merchant learned that the young novice wanted to leave the monastery, but she had nowhere to go. Sybil confessed that she had been collecting useful items for the journey for some time and that she had been storing them in the woods near the monastery. She had stashed away clothes, utensils, and some supplies. But she was scared to go alone. Orin offered your friend a deal. He would help Sybil find a decent job in town nearby and she would do a wounded man a favor. Oh, I clicked it again, sorry. He wanted her to keep up a charade to convince the sister that the monster was real. I don't know whether Sybil took his take of the beast attack at face value or not. However, she did agree to play along. Sybil was spreading rumors about the monster around the monastery, and she also wrote the ominous inscription on the wall. Sister Vanessa suspected that something was wrong. She initially saw the stranger as a threat, but she had to restrain her distrust. After Orin and Sybil caused turmoil in the monastery, Sister Vanessa openly confronted the guest. Alas, she underestimated the danger. Orin murdered Sister Vanessa, not Sybil, hoping to attribute her death to the monster as well. Sybil was terrified. She didn't want anyone to die, not even the woman she hated. Oh. Well, Nelly, it is what it is, isn't it? Oh no. While arguing with Orin, Sybil hit him in a fit of anger. She left the cell after that. The merchant barely healed flesh was bleeding again. So that's why there's blood there. Orin realized he had no allies left in the monastery, so he thought about the escape. He remembered of the supplies Sybil had mentioned packing for her journey and went to the place they were hidden. He successfully emptied the cache and headed towards the western lands. That's where the village guard and I caught up with him. Nelly, I couldn't stop staring at Nate, unable to speak. He realized that the conversation was over and clenched his teeth. Nelly, I'll save you. I'll love you and I. He faltered, confused by his own feelings. Oh dear diary, I totally understand Nate. What is the meaning of love when it's stained with the color of a terrible crime? Is a person capable of maintaining that love when their other half has strayed onto the wrong path? Is Nate himself to blame for the outcome of the fate that has befallen us? That's for the holy elders to know. At least my eyes are finally open. Orin confessed his crime, and I realized how wrong I was. Terribly wrong. Irrevocably wrong. Dead wrong. Sybil never was a monster. She only wanted to run away from the monastery and to see the outside world. And I'm no Saint Eleonora. Just a foolish girl who thought she was a hero. A child drowned in the sea of legends and fairy tales. A real monster. And monsters must be punished for their sins. I killed Sybil, my best friend, and I deserve to be punished. Nate promised to send up for me to find a way out to save me. He didn't know that Sister Monica had seen something on my back when she was looking for possible wounds. There were several dark moles on my shoulder blade, in a place I never would have been able to see myself. What is that? The moles form a familiar shape. The constellation of the beast. Oh, that's good. I feel a lot cheaper on this part. I am a monster. I am a murderer. I have been branded with the mark of the devil. And I must die. Goodbye, dear diary. Goodbye, its possible readers. I don't want to try and justify myself or to evoke your sympathy. No. I just hope my story will sink into your heart. Please don't look for the monster where there aren't any. Perhaps you are no different from me. Well, other songs. Shot on the roof and okay. Well, a good one, and NKK you did. I salute for that. For this. I don't know, it's fitting ending? No, it's not a fitting ending. How do you say it? Yeah, just perfect? No. Just fit. Yeah, and the ending just fit. I like this. Oh, so long, Sybil. So long, Nelly. So long, Vanessa and Monica.
Take my hand and please understand. I'm breathing in acceptance until then.
Yep, it's just fitting to see the fire with all the ice thin, and Nelly being burned there, and yeah, not fitting. How do you say it? So I guess that's all for the Snowdrop Diaries. It's nice. I like it, but oh my god, poor poor everyone though. So that's all. See you later then in my next video. Bye bye.